Okay, so Mixer is live. Hello, everybody watching on Mixer, which is nobody as of yet. But yeah, Mixer is live. We are awaiting Twitch and YouTube. Come on. Come on, Twitch and YouTube. Let's do a thing. Okay, we're just gonna go check out the stream real quick. Make sure it is showing up properly. Let's go over check YouTube. YouTube is telling me I'm live, even though Restream is not seeing it as of yet. That's not bad delay. And then we're going to go over to Twitch. Are we good on Twitch? Yeah, man. Are we? Are we not? We are live on Twitch as well. Kind of. Oh, it's going to play an ad for me. Awesome. But anywho, welcome to ToadNet, anybody who happens to be watching. We've got Gizmo already in chat. Awesome. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn off the chat and then turn the chat back on. Does that restart it? How do I restart it? Just to make sure that it is showing up right away. Let's do property. Shut down source when not visible. Okay. There we go. The chat is up and now connected to 3 different messaging services. And we'll turn on the video capture. There's Unreal Engine. So just so you know, I have not dyed my hair green and I have not put lipstick on. So apparently we're finding out now that the sun is going down earlier in the day. That if I don't have sunlight coming in through the window, then I get a massive amount of bounce off my green screen. Massive, as you can see by the green hair right now. So that's fun. So I'll be looking into investing in some lights that come from up front. Yeah, see, look at that. Ooh, scary green screen stuff because of bounce on super white skin. But anywho, so we'll be working on fixing that in the future sometime. I'm not too worried about it right now. Just we'll call it Toad's Joker mode, or hey, maybe it works even better with the whole Blaster Toad persona being green. I swear, I will get to Unreal Engine in a moment. I am just finishing my tasty, tasty beverage. And then I've got my tunes going, because otherwise I'll go insane, not having something else going in the background. But, anybody in chat, hit me up if you got questions about what I'm doing, or if you have a question on how to do something on your own project, and we might jump aside and look at that. Anywho, now that we've got that out of the way, and we consume some agua, water, all of a sudden randomly thinking in Spanish. Okay, consume some water to keep the throat going, and this is what we have so far. Awesome, and then my green screen just decides it's like, nope, we're going to do something else. What happens if I hit it? If I hit it, does it go away? No, not really. It's probably, and go to webcam. This is the problem with having everything on automatic. Ah, so it was my automatic white balancing killed it. And there we go. So as it's adjusting, as it gets even darker outside, it's screwing up my green screen settings. Awesome. But anywho, what we have, if I grab my controller here, and we hit play. What? Did I disable my split screen? I did. So we're just going to create a player. There we go. Perfect. And now we'll have split screen. Look at that. So what we've got here, is one player can play with the mouse, and you can see stuff moving over there. And the other player can play with the joystick or the controller. Okay? But what we've got going on, and we'll just maximize this real quick, is time dilation. So as you move, the world around you moves and these balls bounce. So they bounce at that speed unless we slow down. And then we've got crouching, we've got jumping, and we've got sliding. Come on, slide underneath it. Boom. Check that out. Slow motion sliding. Whoa. Yeah. Okay. But anywho, we've got that. But you can see the balls on the right have done nothing. That's because their time stream is controlled independently. So now I'm on the controller. If I move a little bit with the controller, time speeds up a little bit. And depending on how quickly you're moving and how much you're putting input in, time moves faster or slower. So that's my jump. That's my crouch. If I come in, I go wham and do this slide underneath. Oh, apparently I kicked one of them. Ooh, slide. I kicked both of them. But they're both on the same map. Look at that. So now if I move with my control or with my mouse, we can see now that. So this way I can have one map loaded, two different players going in two different directions, or down two different channels, and affecting time individually. So what prompted this was last weekend I played Superhot, and Superhot is fantastic. But I thought it'd be even more fantastic if more people can play it at once, so hence the split screen. We're going to break link to our split screen there, and what I want to work with tonight is I'm just going to spitball out here and do some rapid prototyping of an enemy AI. So what I need from the enemy AI is for it to know which time stream to deal with. Okay, so whether it should deal with player 1 or player 2's time stream, or however many other split screen players we add to the game. It should always know where the character is. Okay, so it should always know where its particular player is, the one that's affecting its time. And then it should know whether it's holding a weapon or not and how to use that. Whether it's going to attack with melee, whether it's going to attack barehanded, whether it's going to wait for a line of sight with a weapon and fire. So that is what we're going to be working with. So what I've got here is an enemy character. So our enemy character has a setup so that it can get the player index and attach a weapon if it's told to, all that fun stuff, and save a copy of the game mode. And then it is setting its time dilation and the time dilation of its controller via the player index we pass it. And that is all being set by our spawner right now. So I've got a spawner that is based on time. Okay, so if I do this, is it shift? No. Oh, it's end, right? End drops it to the ground. Okay. So there is our spawner. And we're going to have it affect player 0. We are not going to have it loop. We are going to have it spawn one time. Actually, how do I have this set up? So is plus, so spawn count less than or equal to, we want that to be just less than. Otherwise, I'm going to run into an error of 1. Errors of 1 suck. I'm going to do this. I'm going to grab all this and move it back some. Boom. And make all our stuff pretty. There we go. Okay, we're going to compile, save. So our spawner will, when it starts, go through and spawn something and then delay to spawn again. If it's told to loop. If it's not told to loop, it's only going to do this once. And then if it was told to loop, we could tell it how many times to loop through. But we're not going to do that. So We just want it to drop in one enemy, and my enemy is set up to have a body. So if we jump in now, yay, we've got an enemy there. He spawns in. Enemies! Woo! Okay. Ooh, what errors are we getting? So this is reading none. What's it reading none on? So access none, trying to read property, call function, return value, set custom time dilation. Oh, what if we get AI controller? There we go. Because get controller, we're probably getting invalid on this. So let's break that link and see if that is a flaw. I spawned at the wrong thing. There, we've got an enemy there. Cool. We're still getting errors. Okay, access none, trying to read set custom time dilation and set custom time dilation. We're getting the game mode, which we're setting here. Yeah. And we want to get dilation array and get the index of 0. But it should be in set time dilation. Where are we accessing none? Yay, debugging, isn't it fun? If anybody out there knows what I'm running into troubles with, that'd be fantastic. Trying to read property game mode. How is it accessing none? So are we failing on our cast? That's why. So I only have this happening if it if I want to spawn a weapon. So it's an order of operation error. I need to save my thingy. Yes, technical terms here. I need to save my game mode prior to spawning a weapon. They're going to break link. We're going to bring this guy back in line, just like that. And then we're going to straighten it up some. Nice. So now we should no longer get errors. Okay, so you can move around and, order of operation, solved it. So many times it's order of operation. So then I can plug this back in. And now I'm getting an error again. Get controller. So we're not getting controller of the pawn. Okay, that's fine. That is fine. Okay. We're just going to drop that bit. Perfect. So what we want to do, so we've got a state machine for our, oh, we're going to make a state machine with this enumeration. Need to turn down my music a tad. So we've got it so the enemy can know whether they're armed with melee, armed with range, or unarmed. Okay. So we want to, oh, and we've the enemy knows what its target should be. So let's open up our behavior tree. And this BTS vision was something I built from a tutorial, so we are going to scrap that. Actually, no, we're not. We can always leave that for later. But what we do want to do is we want to make a new task, I believe. Or not a task, I want to do a new service. Yes, I want to do a new service. And the base class is going to be the base class. Perfect. So what I want to do is AI activate, event receive activation. Okay. We are then going to get the control pawn, and we're going to cast to character enemy. We are going to get the player index from it, or get delay index. I should have named that better, which I can do later. Okay, and then we are going to get player controller from that index, and then we are going to set blackboard value object, and our blackboard key, we are going to make a blackboard key selector. No, we're not. We are going to promote that to variable, and we're going to call this here target, because that is what it's saving. It is saving our target, which we don't want the player controller. We want to get controlled pawn. Boom, right like that, and then plug it all in and make it pretty. So we're going to straighten that off. We are going to drop that there. We're going to straighten that off, and we're going to move that back like that and straighten that off. Look at how legible that is now. Makes it a lot easier to see what's going on in a nice short area. Okay. So when we activate, we're going to get what the player controller is and set it there. Okay. I really hope that that will work. Again, it might be an order of operations. This may fire before that value is set, so that could potentially be a problem. So what we want to do here, save that, we want to then, in here, put in, and we need to rename our service. This one? Yes. So not that one. That task can be deleted. So we are going to rename this as a BTS underscore find target. And there we go. Or not find, because they'll always know where it is. We're going to assign target. Assign target. Okay. And we'll go back to our blackboard. And in here, we are going to assign target. Nope, that made a new one. That's not what we want to do. Want to right click here and add a service, assign target. Perfect. And then we'll remove assign target new, as it's useless to us. And then in here, oops, we forgot to do something. We need to go over to our assign target and set the value there of the variable we made to be visible. And now we save that and we save this. We should be able to say that. Okay, so we want target to reference target. Perfect. Easy enough. And we're not going to use a selector here. So this is something I was playing with earlier. We don't need that. We need a sequence. And our first thing in sequence is going to be to do another sequence. Or I guess, no, that's not right. Sequence, we are going to then add a service to it and we are going to assign the target. Okay, and then we are going to have that set target, and then we are going to move because they'll always move towards target. We want a task, we want move to, and target will be our what we're moving to. Perfect. So we're moving to the target after we have assigned the target. Perfect. Then we want to do a selector. And what this selector is going to have on it is a new service from the base class. And then we're going to go back and we're going to rename this. And we want BTS underscore weapons check. Okay. And this is just, again, rapid prototyping, spitballing ideas. The AI is not something I've done before. This is my first time building something up. And we're going to add our service, weapons check. Perfect. And in weapons check, we are going to AI tick. Okay, so every time the AI ticks, we want to check this so that it can update. Okay, otherwise, once it checks that it has a weapon, it'll think it always has a weapon or always doesn't have a weapon, and then the AI can break. Whereas this way, it's checking every loop of the game, or every tick of the game, every frame that it has or does not have a weapon. So we want get controlled on, and from that we want to get all child actors, and then we want to do a loop through here for each loop. Okay. Actually, before that, we need a new variable, and we're going to call this has weapon. Okay. And then array element weapon. We need to make a new class. Do I have weapons here yet? We're going to do a class, so an actor class underscore weapon. Perfect. And we'll derive all our weapons from that. Now we go back to our behavior tree and back to this here. We're then going to cast to our class weapon. And we're going to get has weapon, or no, we're going to set has weapon. Set has weapon to either true or false. We don't really need that, do we? No. No, we don't need that. Again, doing this all stream of thought, so please bear with me. Okay, so we don't want to set a has weapon boolean. We want to do a new, we want to set Blackboard key as an enumerator. And we want to make a literal, no, not make a byte. We want to do a state enum. What did I call that? It is enemy, AI enemy underscore enum underscore state. AI enemy underscore enum underscore state. So literal enum from that. Okay. Okay, perfect. So we want to either Here is where we'll make we'll promote variable, and we'll call that state. So we can set that state if they have a weapon to nothing yet, because we are going to need to tell it whether that is armed or melee. So we want instead go back to weapons. We want to create a child blueprint. We want weapon underscore ranged. And we'll duplicate that and we'll have a weapon underscore melee. If I could spell things correctly. There we go. Who else is watching YouTube? Because I can see I've got 2 viewers there. Hello and welcome. If you got any suggestions for me, please post them in chat. If you're not having me respond to the chat, which I do have open right there, as a aggregate chat from all the platforms we're streaming on, if I don't respond to you, please, over in Discord, do an @mention to Blastertoad, which is myself, and I will make sure I catch it. So we've got weapon range, weapon melee, weapon class. Perfect. So now we can go back to our enemy, and we can go back to our weapons check. We're going to loop through each. And then when we loop through, we're going to say, hey, instead of a class of weapon, is it a, so we want to cast to ranged, and we'll set our default state to unarmed. Okay, so we're going to cast to a ranged weapon. Is it a ranged weapon? Then we're going to set our enumerator to armed ranged. Look at that. Hello, Johnny Passion. Okay, and I probably mispronounced your last name. I'm sorry about that. I was viewing it very quickly. Then we want to cast to, if this doesn't work, cast to weapon melee. So this is using casts instead of using a class check and a branch. Either or will work. I'm not sure which is more expensive. I'm really not sure. It is pronounced passion. Okay, awesome. And hello on Twitch. I think I've only got 2 people on Twitch. We've just started doing like the multi-streaming across multiple platforms. And then what I'm doing tonight is I'm just spitballing ideas for a tech demo that I've been building up over the last week. If you have any ideas of something you want to see, or questions about what I'm doing, or questions about your own project, please shoot them over in chat, and we can diverge for a moment to look at all sorts of different things. Okay, so if it is melee, we're going to set it to armed melee. Perfect. And if it still fails that, so here's our state machine. Is it ranged? Yes, make it ranged. If not, is it melee? Yes, make it melee. If not, set it to the final option of unarmed. Depending on performance hit, we may switch this over to class equals and then branches later. But as for right now, we're just going to do this. And then we are going to do a Blackboard enum. We are going to promote the key to a variable. We're going to call this state, because we're going to call it state with a space so it likes me. We're going to rename this one to state value, just so that we've got a little cleaner naming scheme. And we're going to pull that up there, get our state value. So what we're here doing again, so we're looping through any child actors. of the controlled pawn. And if it's got a weapon, we're setting it so. If not, we're setting it unarmed. So there we go. So now we'll have, if we go back to our behavior tree, so we're getting our target and we're moving to our target. Then we're checking if we have a weapon. So we're going to take this. Oh, we need to save that, save this, go. I didn't make it visible. We need to always make those blackboard keys visible. Otherwise, they will not show up correctly for us. There we go. We're going to change that to state. So it's affecting state. On my blackboard, I can get rid of has weapon. That is a legacy thing I was playing with yesterday. Okay. So has weapon. Then we are going to run some things. So we'll run some sequences. So this sequence is going to need a decorator. So we're going to add a decorator. We're going to add a blackboard decorator. And what this does, it'll let it listen for a value. So we're changing the state value here. So we'll have this one listen for state. So we're going to look for state. And we're going to see if it is equal to armed melee. Perfect. We're going to Control C, Control V, plug that in like that. And we're going to have the same thing, except for is it equal to arm range? And then one more, is it equal to unarmed? Perfect. Look at that, we're making AI. Woo, I have no idea what I'm doing. And I'm just gonna make it a linear progression tree so that we can spread these guys out a bit like that. There we are. Okay, so now we're getting our target. We're moving to that target. So that should work in game. And then we're checking whether we got a weapon and we'll do things based on that. So, play in the game. So if I'm moving, but I forget. I forget that I do not have a nav mesh volume. So we need a nav mesh. I'm just typing in the search bar there. We are going to get a nav mesh bounds volume. Perfect. We are going to zero it out, at least on the X and Y values. We are then going to scale it by like 40, 50. 50 looks good. And 50 and 10. There we go. And we want to, under here, somewhere in here, view our nav mesh. Light map, stationary, blah, 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 stuff. Really? Where are you? Unlove lighting, show here, and then in here, navigation. There we go. So now we are building a navigation mesh, which our enemies should be able to follow now. Why are you doing nothing, you bastard? Thank you, Johnny. I just figured that out again myself. Okay, so we're going to grab our spawner here. Come on, spawner. There we go. We're going to move our spawner up. Why? Why, oh, why are you doing that? Okay, let's go to our weapon thingamajogger. And go back to our behavior tree, our weapon check. We're going to open it up, and we are going to print string. So, we are not getting to our weapons check. Okay, there's a problem. Are we getting to our actor check? So we're going to print string. We are not even getting to our actor. Where, oh where, have I screwed this up? So we're going to go into our enemy character. We're going to check here, and AI enemy controller is there. Ooh, that's placed. I have it grabbing a controller when I place it in world, but not when I'm spawning it. Okay, hello Gizmo, why are you on Twitch? You were on YouTube, and I've seen your stuff previously. Now she's jumping platforms on me and it's going to confuse everything. Okay, let's see if we're doing things now. Well, it falls out of the air now anyway. Okay, and I'm not getting any errors. Let's go check this again. So we want a print string debugging. Woo! Okay. You should be moving towards me. Okay, what if we detach our weapons check? Just like that. Just to see if that's where we're breaking things. I hate that you can't play from here. I can play from there. Haha. You're supposed to be moving towards me. Okay. Again, maybe an order of operations issue. So, we're going to see if it is failing on our cast. Okay, let's see if it still says hello. It still says hello, so it is an order of operations issue. So what is happening? So what is happening here is that the controller is spawned before and starts the event graph before the enemy is set up. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this to a tick. Okay, so we want to receive tick AI, and we're going to do the same thing instead of on activation. Exact same thing. And then this way, we should remove our order of operations problem because we're now doing it each frame until this fires. And then, can we disable? Not disable. What is it called? Abort? No, we can't abort. Okay. We'll have to do that outside of the thingamajig. So, now if we go back here, we should now hopefully have it moving towards us. Okay. It is now moving towards us and is moving way too quick. Hello, buddy boy. Okay, perfect. So, he's now moving towards us. Oh, I didn't save my weapons check remove? Okay, cool. So then he does his weapons check. So now, let's test if this is printing. Okay, why is that not working? AI behavior tree, so boom. Because it should do that after it's moved to. Oh, is that again an order of? So what if I do that? So it checks this first. Actually, let's move to these. There we go. So we'll only have it move to if, oops, if it is seeing that it is unarmed. So move to if it's unarmed. And we'll save, and it's like, hey, am I unarmed? Still not firing. Still not firing. So weapons check. Again, order of operations, isn't it? No, that's just not firing at all. So we're getting stuck here, aren't we? So what I need to do is move this into a window like so. I think we're getting stuck right here. And then play the game. And we're getting stuck at the root. We're getting stuck in here. Okay. So if we add a decorator from the blackboard, we call that decorator on results change. And we want target is set. Okay. Or do we want that decorator here? Yeah, I think that's what we want. So once the target is set, we move into this. Let's try that. Yes, Gizmo, ask away about the Twitch chat. Okay, so now if we move around here, it is supposedly at the weapons check. So, at the weapons check, we're not getting to the end. So, print string, hello. They're waiting for hello. Like the time dilation thing works when it wants to move. Okay. See, like I said, never done AI before. So Johnny, if you got an idea why my blackboard is not continuing, be greatly appreciated. Okay, so it will move into this one here, and that's set. And these here, we want on result change, armed is set to this. So we should be setting that, but this here, so we'll on this one here add a decorator, blackboard, I think, because we need to kill it maybe, so this one can start receiving tick. Okay, so on value changed. The target is set. We want it to kill itself. Abort self if target is set. It's in my assigned target, you think? The problem is, like, assigned target is not even firing. Well, we'll see if it fires now. But, like, that should be firing on tick. So if we play there now, see, that's the issue. It's like we're not even getting there. So we want our blackboard, and we want to see how far down the blackboard we get. So we're on root. So it's not getting past root right now. So if I remove that decorator, and we save, and then we play again. Again, it's not getting past root. Doesn't look like it's assigning the target, which you just said, and I didn't listen because I was thinking something else. So, print string, we should get a, yeah, he's ticking. Are we still failing? No, we're not failing that. So, break link. Maybe this is invalid. We'll do an is valid. And then we'll print either good or we'll print bad. I hope nobody wanted to actually learn anything tonight. Unless you've got questions about your own thingy. Okay, so we're gonna, it's finding us, like it's saying it's good. Oh. We're setting this, we're good, we're finding a target. The type of node I have. Let's try a selector. And we'll move BTS assign target in there. And then we'll move to here. Maybe it's because I was using a sequence instead of a selector. Again, this is my first time. Nope, still not firing that. Let's see if it's still firing this. Yeah, it's still firing target finder. And then, yeah, let's double check that I actually am assigning it because we played around with that a bit. So, this is dealing with target, yes. So that's what we're passing into it. And I'm assigning target, which is an object type, with the controlled pawn of the player index, which is showing up as valid when we print it for valid. What happens, we remove that, and we do redo our decorator, and to target is set, sure. And we're looking for on result changed. Let's look at any value changed instead. See if that might make any difference. Nope, still not going for me. And this tick is not working. Let's try an AI activate instead of a tick. Nope, we aren't even activating that node. AI stuff is annoying. Like, this should work. It's just, it is not being fired at all. What if I don't give it a select condition? Hey, what if I don't care whether the target's been set or not? What if I just go straight to checking for a weapon? No conditions on it. Still no joy. As that's not completing. Is it even starting? Not even starting. So it's not progressing past this first node. So well, it's just like why it's not progressing that one step. And this is the problem is I'm trying to use their proper setup with blackboards and behavior trees and all that. Like realistically, I could do this all in blueprints without any of this garbage. I just say, okay, move to, because there's a basic move to operation. If within certain range, play such and such an animation. None of this is actually necessary. I just want to learn the damn thing. But poking around with it in the dark. Like it's telling us it's valid, but then it's not moving at all to the next thingy. Yeah, it might not be returning stuff to the blackboard properly. I also haven't actually saved the blackboard in a while. We're going to get rid of self actor, so we only want state and we only want target. All we want there. And now if I go back to here, got our root. And then we go to assign a target, which functions. So it runs that, and then it runs this, and this runs. This runs fine. What if we have? Do we have like anything for selector? No. What do we have just for AI? Let's look for AI crap. Receive, activation, deactivation, search start, tech. What if we just do a straight move after this? So like we had that working beforehand, so we just move. And in there we add a decorator that we will move when the target is set. What the frickety hell? Okay, so parallel. So let's do a parallel. Not a parallel. We want a sequence. We're going to move that to the sequence, so it'll move to the sequence. Then the sequence is going to start us moving, and then do the check. This is how we initially had it set up, and it didn't work. Let's see if just moving crap around makes it work. Because every once in a while, Blueprints does that. Ah, yes. The issue of watching anything Unreal Engine related from a mobile device is the font is too damn small. Okay, so it moves to intercept us now. It does move to intercept. I know, right, Johnny? Like, Why is it not firing here? Okay, so it moves to intercept. So this should now get fired. Okay, so like this should just fire, okay? Nope. Like, what the hell's up with that? What the hell is up with just, like, it decides, you know what? I don't want to do what you're telling me to do. How about no? It's exactly what the blackboard is saying to me. Or behavior tree, whatever. Like, it should do this, and then it should immediately go to doing this. What if I do, like, a decorator for... Or is it like I'm waiting for this to move? So what if instead of a sequence, I do a parallel? So I'm doing the two actions at the same time. We're going to do that. We're going to put our decorator in there. And then we're going to do this. So it should do them together. Yeah, the weapon check is not firing at all. Like, everything else works. Right, I removed my print. So let's see if the weapon check prints now. No, the weapons check is still not firing. So the only thing I can think of is that this here is not dying. That it is still continuing to tick once we move past it. So let's test that theory. Is that this thing is still ticking, so it does not allow my other tick to progress. Yep, it is. The first command is still ticking. So we need to deactivate the AI, which we can have events that receive deactivation. So I need to do a decorator on here that is blackboard. But that's setting it first. I want it to not happen first. Okay, so we want target is set and we want it to abort itself once it sets the target. And then this here, we're going to put a print string again, but we're going to put in weapon so we know what the hell's actually happening. And then in this one, we're going to print string targeting. Okay, let's give that a try. It's targeting, it's targeting, it's targeting. Target has changed. The target has changed. It should be aborting. How about on value change? It aborts itself, and it's listening for target to be set. Okay. So when the target's set, it should abort. Targeting. Okay. So what if we don't do this on tick, we do this on activation? Because the weapon check we can always go back to and redo. So let's do the receive activation. And we put that in. Oh, see you later, Sparrow. We got targeting and weapons still don't fire. I have no idea. No, let's change the we'll pop that in there, and we'll pop that. Only task nodes are allowed to do that, of course. Simple parallel finish with main. Maybe it's because it's trying to move to. Maybe I'm waiting. Oh, I'm waiting for that to finish. So, can we just like start moving? But still, like if I do this, I still don't think it works. Targeting, yeah, it still never fires weapon. Blackboards are a massive pain in the ass. Oh, that's still trying to happen, that's why. So let's just remove that, remove that. Come on. Okay, so what if we assign target and check weapon all at the same time? I really don't want to do that because they should be individual things. Like really, they should be. But I've got no idea what's happening. What happens if we gonna open a YouTube tab or a internet tab here and search for the damn solution using the power of the almighty Googles. Let's see UE4, and that is the behavior tree. Your tree not running service. So behavior tree service is not executing. Nobody has answered the question. That is hopeful. So where does he have the selector? Oh, come on. Yeah, we'll see you in a bit, Johnny. Okay, so we got a bunch of wait commands and stuff like that, and none of that's helpful. So, can I get the blackboard from... so what about AI controller? What can I... If I get AI controller from controlled actor, which is self, get... Waffles would be awesome. So what if I get blackboard? Okay. Do I have to then cast? No. Set. No, I need to get something from there. Can I get state? No, because it's not actually getting... Can I set a blackboard key? Blackboard set value as an object. Okay. So we'll just do this completely outside of the blackboard. Okay, so we will move this down and we are going to do a custom event and we're going to call it set target actor, and we are going to give it a input, and we are not going to give it an input because we don't need an input. So we are going to set target actor, and then this and our key name, and we'll make a literal name, and our literal name will be target. And we do have that, right? Target, yes, okay. And then we'll set that to get the delay index, get layer controller, and get pawn, so get controlled pawn. And then set that there. Okay. So here's the stupid ass thing, is that this is not what you're supposed to do, but I have a feeling it's going to work a hell of a lot better than the other way. So we're going to completely get rid of that. And it's going to say, hey, when target is set, do a weapons check. It's going to skip the rest of it. Skip it. Just be like, piss off. And we should now, we want to deactivate that. We want to get the tick. Hey, guess what? Now it checks your weapons when you do it not the correct way. I am going to go urinate, and because I am not wired to my computer with this headset, I'm going to continue to listen to my music while I do so, and then I will return and continue to bash my head against this stupidity. Yes. Okay. Oh, this is infuriating. Because this is not how it's supposed to work. At all. So now, if it's equal to unarmed, we want it to move to. What's the difference between move directly towards? Move directly towards. Moves the A pawn towards a specific actor or location. Okay. So we want to use move to because it will navigate. Okay. So, yes, it's seeing that, hey, look, I'm unarmed. So, it's now going to navigate with us. Woo! Don't you love how everything slows down as we jump? And then comes to a stop there, and then he moves a bit. Okay, he's moving way too quick, so we're going to have to play with speeds and all that. But that shouldn't work. That's not how it's supposed to work anyway. Okay. So in this, we also want it to, when that value is changed, when the results change, we want it to kill itself. When the results change, kill yourself. When the results change, kill yourself. Okay. I really hate AI right now. Okay, but anywho, we are going to play with their speed. They're moving way too quick. So max walk speed, 400. Max walk speed when crouched, 250. Ground friction, yeah, I'll put it as 8. And then let's go over to our character and change the meaning a bit. So I've got a value in here for interp speed. And I think I want it faster. Now if we play, it should be coming for us. And when I stop, it should stop faster. Maybe we want that even faster. Let's put our interp speed to 5. It's all about tuning to make it look right, eh? He's coming, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming, and then stop. Boom. I think that works. But again, that stuff can be tuned later. Hence why I called it tuning. Yes. We want that to keep checking. And then when it checks, it goes down one of these paths. Okay, that works. Okay. Do I care if these are... Yeah, I'm going to set different values to these. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. So, we are going to then do a off the armed attack, which we don't have anything for yet. So before we go any further, let's make guns. I'm going to not show my nav mesh anymore. Navigation, where are you? We had it right there previously. There we go. Okay. So, okay. There we go. That's more comfortable. Awesome. We're going to go over to our weapons. And we are going to not need a base class of weapons. We're just going to go boom. Weapon melee. And then we're going to do well, this is going to be it. This is going to be it. This is going to be like there's nothing really needed in the base class. So we're going to kill all that. We are going to kill all of that. So we are going, whoops, not kill that. Okay, so we want to kill all that stuff. All that stuff. Okay, so we're going to have a blueprint, and we're going to have an actor, and we're going to have class underscore weapon. Okay. And class underscore weapon is going to have a box. It's going to have a little box. Box collision. Woo! And inside the box collision is going to be an arrow. Whoa! Okay, there we go. Okay. Perfect. And then we are going to have a new Boolean, and we're going to call this ranged. That's it. Hello, Gimme. You're here and you're chatting. Yay. And we're going to call this weapon bears, or weapon variables. Okay, so we've got a box, and we're going to call that hitbox. Okay. Perfect. We've got ranged or not ranged. And maybe give it a name. So we'll do a name variable. And we're gonna actually make name of type name in case we need to load anything via spreadsheets later. And that is gonna be our weapon class. No, actually we are going to do a static mesh. Should they be skeletal meshes? No, static mesh will be fine. And we're just gonna call static mesh, mesh. And mesh is gonna be our root. Cool. We've got a hitbox. We've got our emitter. And we have our mesh. Okay, so what this is doing is this will be where we can actually put something, model of whatever we want. The hitbox is going to be what we use for our weapon's actual attack area. And the emitter is going to be where we fire bullets from. So, Johnny, since you missed it, we got it to work, kind of. And then I've broken it because I've completely reworked my weapons class. So, what we did was we set the target by the enemy pawn, which is not what you're supposed to do, according to things. Okay, so we set that, and then in our blackboard, we skip that part completely and just after that was set, went right to the weapons check. And everything worked fine as long as I skipped actually using behavior trees. It's so freaking annoying. Oh. But yes, I'm going to rework the weapons and rework the AI controller so that all the values are, when you spawn, all the values are written to the controller. And then in the controller, when we already have the values, I will then run the behavior tree after the values are set. And that might do something resembling what I want it to do. But anywho, right now we're making weapons. So we've got class weapon, we've got a hitbox, we've got an emitter, we've got a mesh, and we've got its name and whether or not it is ranged. That is what we have. Cool. So let's make a child. You hear that, Gizmo? I'm coming for you. But anywho, we're making a child blueprint, and this child is going to be our weapon range. Okay, and our weapon ranged is going to use the inherited variable from the weapon variables that it is ranged. So we're going to set that as true. Okay. And then in event graph, we are going to do nothing, because what we're going to do is we are going to, in class weapon, set up a function first. We're going to do a new function. We're going to call this function attack. That's why I said I was coming for you, Gizmo. Nuclear whales. Yes, the nuclear whales. Okay, so we're going to have an attack value, and the attack value is not going to have any inputs. No. So what we don't want to call that attack. We want to call that rename custom attack. Okay? Because this is what our children or child blueprints are going to work off of. Add custom event, and we're going to call this one attack. So we've got attack and then custom attack. Or attack and then child attack. That works better. Child attack. Woo! Sounds like a bad rap song. Okay. So we've got attack. And when we get attack, we are going to get parent actor. Okay. Get parent actor. And then you're going to get skeletal mesh. We'll do something with that later about getting the actor and applying a animation, I guess. And then we want to do the child attack. Child attack! Wow! You can make anything with blueprints, Gizmo. And then we're going to come in here and we're going to override our child attack. Blam! Okay. And we don't actually need a class for our ranged weapons. This will just be a example of a ranged weapon, because then every other one is just going to be a duplicate of this pretty much. So when we attack, we are going to need a new thingy, ammo. We're going to create an actor, and we're going to call this class underscore bullet. Make that a T, not an R. And then our class bullet is going to have a projectile movement component. You know, Gizmo, if you can decompile your son and then inject him into Unreal Engine, I'm sure we could make some changes. But until you can do that, think you're out of luck. Okay. So our initial speed is going to be something. But we also need on everything to have a set custom time dilation. Oh, do we want to do that here, or do we want to get everything inside a zone? What is more expensive, running a small tick event on everything, or running a single tick event that references everything? Interesting question. Anywho. When we got our ranged weapon, we are going to get our emitter, get forward vector. Actually, no, we're going to get transform, get our world transform. And then we are going to split that, and we're going to make a transform. And we're just doing this so that in case we change the scale of stuff. So what's happening, Johnny, is because I have here, I'll just do a quick demo of it here. So I'll turn on my controller, we'll open up the game mode and plug this back in. So the idea is, instead of setting global time dilation, we're setting, yeah, weapons check, we don't care. We're setting the, Gimme Johnny is on Twitch right now. He's watching on Twitch. So we've got split screen, which it spawned to be on the wrong sides of. Whereas if we move with the controller, it's setting a custom time dilation for all the actors in its affected area. And when we use the keyboard, it's setting time dilation for all the actors in its affected area. So we could do something like the game Super Hot, but to have it as a split screen. Whereas if I set a global time dilation, whenever one character moved, then both the actors in the world would then be affected by both. So I need to set time dilation on everything, but because my time dilation is constantly changing, couldn't I just use a lerp? Well, the issue is, like, I'm affecting time dilation. So depending on so when the player's not moving, time is stopped, and then as soon as you start moving, your time is moving relative to your movement. So it's taking into effect the current velocity of the player. It is taking into effect the input from the player. So let's run over to our player class. And time dilation. Yes. So it is taking in our walk input, strafing input, look input, and our velocity, and anything else we pass into it as a miscellaneous variable, finding which is the largest, and then updating the time dilation so that all the other actors affected in their zone will use the time dilation that the player is affecting. Or effecting? Effecting, I guess. Whatever, words. So the idea is to make something like the game Super Hot, where time only moves when you're moving, but to allow it to be a scalable multiplayer. So because of that, instead of just setting time dilation across everything, everything needs to have its own custom time dilation that it picks up from what the player has set. It's fun. And believe it or not, that only took like 2 days to set up. It's just the stupid bloody AI, which has been like 3 days of what the hell's happening with AI. And then we want to spawn actor from class, and we'll spawn a bullet. So just a slurp. Hmm. The AI's perception has nothing to do with the time dilation. The time dilation is just affecting their movement. And that's like affecting it via the movement component, which is taking into effect the time dilation, yeah. Now because yeah, if I try to set anything based on them, because the time dilation is constantly changing. Yeah, this is all based on player input, so I'm not sure where the interpolation would come in, other than like interpolating from the one dilation to the next, which I have taken care of in the player before it's updated. Because like these balls in the world are projectile movement components mimicking physics and bouncing, because physics itself is not affected by time dilation, apparently. I found out later. But yeah, then like as I move just a little bit, or I move slowly, they only move slowly. But as I move at full speed, they move at full speed. And that is a constant change. Okay, well, I'll talk to you later. Yes, give me balls. Okay, so now characters, we've got time dilation. We are going to make the setting time dilation manually is going to suck. So we are going to make a zone. Under our blueprint, we're going to have a new zones slash, can't do slash, and triggers. Now we'll just rename that to zones. We're going to do a new blueprint. We're going to do an actor. We're going to do this as a class underscore set dilation. Or we're going to just do it as zone. Zone underscore set dilation. It is going to have a box collision, which will be its root. And then on construction, we are going to get overlapping actors, or get overlapped actors, I guess. Really? Where's overlapped actors? No, I did ASMR prep later. Or earlier. Not this stream, but a different. Box overlap actors. That's exactly what I was looking for. So we want to get bounds, get component bounds. The origin is position. Box extent is that. Cool. And then actors to ignore, we're going to make an array. Class filter. Ooh, I could filter it by a class. But that is going to be a pain in the ass to set it up routed. So we will get player controllers. Doesn't work in here. Oh, do we set our own in the player? We still set player index in the player. So I could change that. Cool. Okay. Let's go over here and we want to check out an override on post login. And we're going to print string on post login. Should get 2. Yes. Okay. That is how we'll do it. That is how we'll do it. Okay. I just figured something out. I think I just figured something out. Maybe I've got something figured out. Okay. On second thought, I don't think I've got it figured out, but we'll soon find out. So we're going to loop through for each loop. And then we are going to do we want to check out if, what error are we having here? Current value object type query object types pin is invalid array. List of object types. We make an array. World dynamic, I guess everything's gonna be. What are my balls? my balls interact with block all dynamic. They respond on world dynamic. Object type world dynamic. Okay. So world dynamic will work for me because the characters are still world dynamic, right? Collision presets pawn, but they still respond to world dynamic. Okay, so we should be able to say, okay, world dynamic, the box overlap, world dynamic objects, and then for each, we're going to do a thingy. In a new variable, we're going to call this player index, except for we're not going to have the capital N. And we are going to, in our core stuff, make a new blueprint. We're going to make a interface. I'm going to call it interface underscore dilation. Anything that may be affected by dilation will hold this interface. And we are going to set player index reference. And we're going to have an input of a integer. And then I will have to only once set this, and then each thing will do its own tick, or we can later set this up to tick everything. That only does on construction. And that doesn't let me spawn new things in the level. Set player index for each thing it interacts with, and player index integer, we're going to do like that. So everything it overlaps in the box constraints will the thing. So I'm going to make a new thing for interfaces and function. Interfaces and functions, and I'll move this under there. No, we'll just call that libraries, because that's what I've called it in other projects. Perfect. Okay. And a new folder, characters, and we'll bring enemies under there. And we'll bring player under there. Just so that we can clean up some stuff. And we're going to fix up our redirect notices. Okay. Perfect. So this zone, as we scale it, oh, freaking hell. Oh, I can set my spawners to, yeah, That would work. Okay. So all I have to do here is scale this out so that it would encompass the play area, and I set my player input on this, which I didn't set as visible, so we'll do that now. So now, player index I want as 0. Cool. Okay. So now we're going to make our own spawn setup. So we want to get game instance cast to GI of time beats. Time beats is the working title of this demo. And then from our game instance, we are going to get split screen, and then we're going to branch, and if split screen is currently true, we'll create a second player. Okay, we also want to get all actors of class, and we're going to do this in a sequence, because sequences are cool. Unless we're talking about the Blackboard stuff, and then they were just previously a major pain in the ass. So break that link. We're going to do a for each loop. No, we are going to make a new thingy there in a moment. So here is what we're going to do. So we're going to make our own custom spawner. So in our zones, we want our spawner. So where did I previously save our spawner? Was probably under enemies. There we go, enemy spawner. So we'll put that under zones. So we want a new actor, and we want this as a spawner underscore player. Compile, save. Okay, so we want our spawner to have a new variable called player index. Why I keep wanting to do multiple capitals could be to do with what I'm listening to. And we're going to switch up my music. Switching up my tunes. Electronic Swing Circus. Let's do that. Okay. Our player index is going to be of type integer. And we're going to go to our class. We are going to do class settings. We are going to add a interface. We're going to add our interface dilation, compile, save, event graph, get rid of everything else, and we're going to do a set player index ref. Event set player index ref. There we go. And we want to set that. Actually, this is the one thing that doesn't need that. We're going to need that on everything else. So we're going to remove that. Do we want to remove that? No, we do want to do that. I am getting myself confused because we're doing too much jumping all over the place. So we're going to do an event, set, player, index ref, and we're going to set player index. Okay. And then we are going to handle our own spawning. So where do we want to? We want to go back to our game mode. We want a spawner player. We're just gonna rename those to spawn instead of spawner. Just because it makes it a little bit more streamlined. Okay. So now we'll go back to our game mode, spawn player, and then we are going to promote to variable, and we're going to call this player spawn points. Okay, and then we're going to get controller ID. What this is doing is, firstly, we're going to check if it's split screen. Check if should make second player for split screen. Okay, and then save an array of player spawn point. Okay. Then, when we get a player controller ID, and we are not going to create anything when we create the player. So, when we get that, we are going to then, when a player logs in, we're going to get our player spawn points, get player spawn points, and then for each loop, and then we're going to get layer index, and we're going to see if it equals our value there. What this is doing is we're presetting where each player should spawn via their player controller. And then we're going to branch off there, give us a yes or no, or true or false. And if it is equal, we are going to spawn actor from class. And we're going to get transform from our spawn point. And then we're going to set this class to character player. As character player, we are going to set player index. might want to move some of this down so that I can make that more visible. So we're going to go whoop, pop that up and over. Going to boop it over here so that we can have it coming in there. We might actually want to just go like that. There we go. Doesn't that make everything look cleaner? And then we'll boop that a little further along, like so. So much easier to read where everything is going. Look at that, nice and clean. And then we are going to possess. This is our target. Oh, nope, this as our pawn. And this is our target. So we're going to do a thingy again. Where it goes. I can hear my kitty jumping around. Not a very happy song. Lover talking about breaking our other lover's neck so that he can't run away anymore. Because she loves him so much. Kind of weird. But it has a really catchy tune. Okay. So, we get the spawn point with the player index equal to our current player index. Make a player, and then take control of that player. There we go. Okay. They're going to move this to there, and we want to call this spawn player character at correct spawn point. Okay. Is that even necessary? So we'll go a tick down here. Now we want to tick event. Event tick. Okay, so we've got game starting, game spawning, and then we could from here How do we want to do this? I'm just thinking of a new way to tell everything to spawn correctly. What if I was to, in this zone, instead of doing that, or as well as doing that, do a begin overlap. Begin overlap. And get the other actor. So will things begin overlap at play, at start? We want a current string. And we want the other actor's name. Okay, so what if instead of spawning our character right now, we're going to go back to our game mode, and we're going to break link there. Make sure that our game instance is set correct. Game instance is set correctly. And our game instance is saying split screen is currently false. Okay, that's fine. But if I take my player and put them in there, and we set it up to auto possess the first player. Yes, I'm fine with that. So character enemy. Okay. So it's just the enemy character that's being... The balls are not being found yet. So if I do a zone set dilation, how about when anything begins overlapping, we update it all? No, that could get expensive. But this will help when things spawn in. So other actor, and we want to get our player index, and we want to select, or do we want to switch? There we go, switch on integer. 0 or 1. Go to get game mode, cast to time beats. Okay. So what this is doing is, and then we want to get enemies 1. Actually, we should rename some of this stuff. So we're going to go back to GM. Unreal Engine, the thing I'm using to build this, is free to use until you sell something you've made in it over such and such a dollar value. So anybody can play around with this. And then as for the thing I'm building, right now it's just tech demo. Who knows if it'll ever actually be playable or released. It's just an idea to play with, really. So I wanted this here. I want to rename these. So I want nation list 0. Dilation actors 0. And then we're going to duplicate that and do dilation actors 1. Okay. And let's do that. And then we're going to go to our zone. I'm going to get dilation actor 0, dilation actors 1. No, I wanted 1. Get dilation actor 1, and then we want to add a unique for 0 and add unique for 1. That, just to make it all easy to view, and then we're going to bring in our other actor. I'm going to do a reroute node. And there, we're going to do another reroute node. So something like that. So this way, anything that spawns will be added to its respective list. And that should work. And then instead of ticking on every actor, which I think might be expensive, we're going to go through all these. So under our blueprint, no, we want our libraries, interface dilations, we want to set player index reference. We also want a new one, and we want to set dilation factor. And we want a float called value. Okay, and then on our game mode, we are going to do a sequence. Not sure if I should tick this as a sequence, but that's how we're going to do it. And we're going to get dilation actor 0 and get dilation actor 1. How about I spell anything correctly tonight? That would be fantastic. There we go. Actors, yay. And then we want to loop, so we want to do a for each loop. I'm going to turn back on context sensitive. Okay. That and that. And then we want to get dilation array. And we want to get a reference or yeah, returns item and array index, operate directly on the item, returns temporary copy. Cool, we want to get copy. And we want to set dilation factor. Do that. And then we want to do the exact same thing down here, except we want to do this to 1. Like that. So this way we're updating all the actors' dilations. You want to see, so on, tick, update, dilation, on, effective actors. And then this way, if I fire a bullet, I don't have to set what its dilation is manually, because if it's fired in the zone, it should be taken care of. Which is being taken care of by this. We want on overlap, add actors to dilation list. And then really this is what we want to do on the construction script as well. In the box extent for each actor, instead of setting their index, well, we can set index as well. Set player index reference. Still doesn't hurt to do that. And we will also do this. Copy that. And we'll go back to our construction script and paste it right in. Like so. Boom. Straighten these off so that they look nicer. And there we go. And that should do it. You want to know who else is watching? It may be Gizmo, or no, you are Gizmo. It may be Gimme, because he was here, but who knows? It could just be somebody else, completely random watching. And being confused as hell with the rest of us. So let's test this by doing a print string of that. If I do this and I use that box, dilation test balls are getting in there. Spawner enemy timer's getting in there. My character is not getting in there, so it's not reading pawns. I want to go back to our zones, and we want to add a pin, and we want to add pawns to that. World dynamics and pawns. Ooh. Elbows. Okay, so now we should see the character also show up in there. Character player is now also showing up in there. Okay, perfect. They're like, oh no, someone has noticed that we are here. We must leave now. And then spawn player, we want to add a capsule. You want to make that capsule 88 by 34. I do believe. We're going to go double check our character. And his capsule is 88 by 34. Yay, I remembered stuff. Okay, so 88 by 34, and then we want we're going to set that as a root. We want an arrow. And this way we can see which way everything is pointing and we drop it in game because we're now going to put a player spawn in here, and we're going to hit end to drop it. Come on, I hit that and then hit end, perfect. And then I want this zone. Come on, zone. There we go. The zone's player index 0. Cool. So this should set this player index to 0. And let's make that visible so we can watch it change. So, player index is currently 0. So if we choose our spawn box and make player index 1, that should update everything. So this one's player index should now be 5. What the hell? I set player index to 0, and then I go over here, and our player index is 5. And if I set this to 0, and then I set this to 1, and then I go back and look at this, it should be 1. And it's 5. Why, oh why? That's why. Because I'm being a dumbass. That. That is what I want to do. Plug that in. So now, should be 1, and this should be 1. Yes, and if I change this to 0, boom. Then my spawner should now also be at 0. Come on. Come on, spawner. Spawn thingy is now also at 0. Perfect. Okay. And we're going to delete our player, and we're going to go to our game mode and re-plug in our player routing. So I should spawn in right there just to make sure. We are going to put a cube right in front of us. So if we spawn in looking down the side of a cube, we are good. We did not spawn in looking down the side of a cube. Why did we not spawn in looking down the side of a cube? Let's go find out. Core, game modes. We're actually going to close all this because it's getting a little bit confusing with all those tabs open. Okay, so let's see if this is firing. I'm going to print string spawned. It's not firing. Is it not finding something of the... Is it hitting false there? No. Is it hitting true there? No. Is this being fired at all? Yes. So we get the controller index, and then we should loop through things. We should loop through once. Nope. Ah. So player spawn points is not working. Event. Do we have a constructor? What events do we have? On post login. That's what I've got. Begin play, end play, destroyed. Is this being fired? So we're gonna print string hello. And we're gonna print spawned. Maybe order of operations. No, hello is firing first. So let's get a copy of whatever this is invalid. Get all actors a class, spawn player. And we've got spawn player, yes. And then let's get length, and we'll print the length. Length should be 1. Yes, length is 1. Why, oh why, is this not working? Print string, we're going to get length off this. Delete that. Order of operations. So it has not saved this before doing this. Okay. And what if I do this to create player 0? In that case, I should do this and then this instead of doing it in sequence. See if that does anything. Really? Still? We don't want to spawn the pawn. What if we do a do once? And we do that. And we do a sequence. Or if I just get all those before doing this, just go straight in here for this. -1 there. I may just as well be speaking Chinese, eh? Ha! We're now spawning in the right area. So, order of operations always gets me. That is what we've learned. The toad is bad at order of operations. And there we go. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so this now works. Custom spawning in now works. This should be working. So let's set up our test balls to work with that. So test balls, and we want to break that link, and we want to set dilation factor event. No, we want to class settings, add our interface dilation, compile, save, event set dilation factor, and then we want to copy that, paste that. And this is all we should need on each actor that's affected by time dilation. So now, okay, why isn't that working? Dilation actors. Okay, so that's firing. Is this firing? This is not firing. So, dilation factor. Because, okay, so we want to do we need this on event begin play as well as everything else. So we want to, because doing it on construct does nothing because the thingy isn't set during construct. We want to take everything we did here and Control C for copy, and we want a Control B and bring it into that. Now those work as intended. And those ones are not being affected because we changed them. Okay, that works. Okay. So you need to pretty some things up here. I think that's about it. Okay. We're going to take this and we're going to comment it. Okay, and add all overlapping actors to dilation list. Okay. There we go. So we're just setting a value on everything. That means on our enemy, we now want to do the exact same thing. So we want to update our enemy. So instead of this, we want to, and some of this isn't even necessary anymore. What are we getting the game mode for? Right there, that's all we're getting it for. So if we break length, then we don't have to do like any of that. As we'll just do class settings, add our interface dilation, compile, save, and then we want to set player index reference, because we still want that. So set that. Just in case we need to reference it from our enemy. And then we want to set dilation factor. And then set custom dilation. And then everything here can be removed. And it should all work the exact same. Our spawn enemy timer is now a little bit screwed up. We want to go to our zones, spawn enemy timer, and we just want to break link there, so it's not worried about it anymore. And now it's affected by the same time dilation as everything else. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. I think that works. Okay. So instead of spawning the enemy, what if we do a AI controller? Create AI? No. Spawn AI from class. Enemy behavior tree. And character enemy. What if we did that instead? Split that pin, and we'll go like that. Go like that. We'll go like that. Still spawns our enemy AI. That might be the better way to do it. And then maybe I don't need to worry about the auto possess, because I'm actually creating a enemy. Okay. And then, big eyes. Okay. So this still works. And a lot of this is, so that's all unnecessary right there. We've made that simpler. we've actually like for the amount of heads smashing against walls, a lot has been simplified tonight. At least for individual setup of things. Enemy timer. This here is what it is. It's not simple, but it should work. And it should work well enough that it's reliable. And then we don't have to worry about ticking the balls anymore, because we're just updating their time dilation. Cool. And then, what happens if we do a and tick? I do this divided by world delta seconds. And print string. And what does that actually give us? Does this give us 1? It gives us 0 or 1. Okay. How does that help me? Because I was going to make a custom timer with that. And it's knowledge that I will need to make a custom timer. But how I'm going to make a custom timer out of that, I have no freaking clue. But it doesn't help me because it's still ticking at 1 second. So still a constant tick. It is not being affected by time dilation. We got dilation factor, get actor time dilation, global time dilation, set custom time dilation. So that's all for our character player. That's for other stuff. That's for other stuff. Ooh, we can tell it to ignore time dilation. Okay. But anywho, that functions. Do we have this replicating? We do now. See, Gizmo, we've got replication, so we're replicating and we're making children and technobiology. Woo! My legs are jittering down below the desk because my brain is becoming fried. As my hair gets sadder and sadder. And seriously, like the green spillover effect, which at least on my end makes it look like I've got like super green hair, a little bit annoying. Yeah, programming anything, whether it's in a visual language like this or whether it's in a traditional scripting language, you come into a problem and it's like a puzzle you have to solve. So you just get fixated on it and you're like, oh, I need to do this now. But that's part of the fun. Because then when you do get past it, you're like, yes! I did the thing all by myself. That thing, I did it. And it feels pretty awesome. It's all about solving puzzles. Okay. The game mode's doing that. Man, that makes things so much simpler. And we got custom spawning in. And we've got zones which cover stuff. Awesome. We really haven't done anything for our enemies. That being said, though, we are going to add a arrow to our enemy, just so we can see which way he's supposed to point. Like, right now, he's pointing away from us. If I select it, hit N, drop it to the ground. Perfect. Okay. Gonna give AI its own folder, because screw AI. Gonna hopefully clean some stuff up a bit. They're gonna be like, hey, there's my characters. And there's my enemies. There's AI for my enemies. Which I'm probably gonna start fresh on the AI. Okay. So AI controller. What happens if I break that link now? Because I'm telling it to spawn an enemy with a controller, right? So, I'm spawning an enemy with a controller. Go to AI behavior tree, and we do weapons check. Where are we running into the... Cast has an invalid target type because we aren't doing that anymore. Right. So, let's want to get controller. Yeah, enemy black. Don't need the black. So we do want player index on here. I want that to be an integer. I want to again, order of operations. What comes first, the controller or the pawn? Or the yeah, the controller or the pawn. Okay. Anywho, let's kill all the AI stuff. We don't need any of it. Alright, save. So, when the character enemy is spawned in, we're going to get event in play. We're going to do a print here for hello, and we're going to do a print here for start. And what this is going to do for us, hopefully, is tell us what order it's running in. To get start then hello, or damn it. Let's do it that way instead. Break link. You're gonna go. We got start. We didn't get set player index. Why did we not get a set player index? Zones, dilation. So anything that's spawned in there is not getting it. So we still want to do that. So we just want to move this down the list. Then we're gonna move this up. I'm loving me some Electro Swing tonight. Okay, so that should now tell us our order of operations, if we've got it correct or not with that print. So it's hello, start, hello. Ah, because this... No, that shouldn't generate overlap events. That generates overlap events. Where is that option? Yes, that generates overlap. However, this does not generate overlap. So you shouldn't really be getting hello twice. Let's see. Overlap. Generate overlap is off on that. Is on that. Is off on that. But anywho, I am getting it before they begin play. So I should be able to then get controller. AI controller. Get AI controller from self. And then cast to AI enemy controller. And then set player index. Player index. Okay. And then begin. No, use Blackboard. Or is it behavior tree? Run behavior tree. Okay, so that should run it. But that means my enemy spawner would need to not run it. Actually, if I do it here, if I apply it here, it'll happen before begin play. So, do I have... Let's not show inherited values. So we got spawn count. We do have player index. I don't know, spawn count is a... whatever. Doesn't really matter. Anywho, we will put get player index. We'll set player index and add our interface time dilation. Compile, save, event, set player index reference. Okay. Player index is set. So then I should be able to set player index. No. Ooh. Okay, that just goes as a standard pawn. So I need to cast to character enemy. And set player index. Or I can just do that. So if I do a set player index reference, pawn reference is not interface, dilation interface. But I want that to happen on somebody else. Why is it not? Okay. Set player index. So I don't want to call, I want a message. No, I don't want to call. Player index. I don't want the event, I want the message. There we go. So this way, we're setting that index before even gets the chance. think that would work. We might get that as multiple things now, though. And then print string start. So we should get like 2 hellos and a start, and then a hello. Hello start. Still just 1, but still. That that should happen always in line that way now. Get AI controller. Could just duplicate this here as well. So everything's set up. That may be the better method. But it's one of those things where I'm not really going to know until I get real deep into optimization, which may never come because it's just tech demo, so we will see. Yeah, that will do a thing. So then on my enemy, I wouldn't have to do this on begin play. So I just want to get that and get dilation. And then on my AI controller, I just need to do class settings and add my dilation interface. And then set player index ref. Set player index with that. That makes that really damn simple. And now we want to start building the AI stuff. So we want a artificial intelligence. We want a behavior tree. And call this AI enemy tree. And then we want a blackboard AI enemy underscore blackboard. And then we want this here to use the, where do I choose which blackboard to use? I don't want to use a new blackboard. I want to, I have to save this one first, right? And then AI. Oh, it's not going to let me. Yeah, that lets me create new things there. What happens if I do that? Is it going to create a completely new blackboard for me, or? No. Ah, there we go. I don't need self-actor. Okay. Now we should be able to switch between those, yes. So we want to do a new object, and we're going to call this player target, and it will be of type actor. Okay. And then we're going to do a selector. And we're going to add a service. We're going to do new service. And we're going to call this one, rename it BTS underscore set target player. And we're going to rename this to target player so that everything is the same across it all. I think that ended up being part of my problem. Okay. So we got player target. So in here, we want to do our add service, set target player, target player. Okay, save that. Save that. This is that thingy. Okay. So we want to on activate. Activate AI. On receive activation AI. We want to get controller. We want to cast to AI enemy controller. And we want to get layer index. And we then want to get layer controller and get pawn. Pawn. Then we want to set blackboard value as an object. The value is this. We're gonna plug that in. Right in. So this should hopefully work because of order of operations now that we have this value being set before this would run. Hopefully. And we're going to promote this to variable. And we want to call this target player. I'll save. Okay. And then that there. So oh, and we need to make that visible. There we go. But here should now so check target player. Yes. Okay. And then tasks move to Blackboard key target player. But we only want this to happen when target player is set. So let's see if they move now. No? Okay, so that's not even running now. Oh, because we need to set that. So we want to find our spawner and set our behavior tree to that. Ooh, you're not super smooth as per the. Ooh, we need to change their acceleration. But that works. Okay. So target player set. And then let's do target player. So we don't need this self actor. Don't know why it keeps populating that. So we want to bool has weapon. And then we want another bool ranged weapon. Okay. So this here we will be setting from the weapon when it is added or removed to the AI now. Or added or removed to the enemy. So we've got that, so it runs that. So we want another selector. And then we want one that is a sequence. There's something about loop in here, right? You know? Composites, tasks, make noise, play sound, move towards something, run a behavior. Rotate to face. So rotate to face something. Okay. Okay, that, yes, rotate to face will work. So we want to add a decorator for Blackboard. And we want is set as weapon. And we want to add another decorator. And we want a ranged weapon is set. So do they have a weapon and is it ranged? Okay. And then we want to copy that. And then we have is it a weapon and, or do they have a weapon and ranged is not set. So that would be a melee weapon. Okay. And then we want one more sequence. I think sequence is what we want. I want has weapon not set. So they are unarmed. So we want to then turn to, so sequence, no, we're in a sequence. We want to Turn. Wasn't there a turn too? Tasks. Rotate to face. Okay. Rotate to face. Blackboard entry. And that's target player. Okay. Rotate to face the target player. Then we'll have it run a selector. And we want to rarg. What do we want to do? Yeah, we just want to run that directly after this. And we want this to abort self if these are changed. We want those to change if those are changed. Okay. But if he has a weapon and it is a ranged weapon, then we want to rotate to face enemy and we want to do a new service. And we want to call this one so we're going to rename that BTS underscore has line of sight on range, or ranged line of sight, ranged line of sight. So we want to then add the service, ranged line of sight, and we'll add that to our blackboard, ranged weapon, and we'll add another one, line of sight. And that is a Boolean, which is yes. Okay. And then if line of sight is false, we want to move to and now we'll add a decorator, add a decorator blackboard. That will be on results changed is not set line of sight. So if they do not have a line of sight, they're going to move to the enemy. Activated. Event received. Activation AI. We want to get controlled pawn. We want to get blackboard value object. Make a blackboard. Promote to variable and target player. I'm going to do a line trace by channel visibility, and we want to from our pawn get after location. We want to get after location. Get location. as an object. Cast to actor. Now we're going to do that as a pure cast. Object actor location. Ignoring itself. And then we want to branch to see if it actually hit anything. And then we want to, oh, we just want to do a line trace, not a multi-line. Line trace by channel, not multi-line trace. That, like that. Plug those in. And we're going to break this. Break as in break the values apart, not actually damage it. And then we want to see if the hit actor is equal to this actor. And then we're going to do another branch. And then we are going to set blackboard value as bool. Straighten that connection equal. We're going to promote that to variable, and we're going to say line of sight. I'm also going to make that visible, and if it's true, we're going to put line of sight true. Either false, we're going to put same thing here, except for we're going to set it as false. Move that down like that, and move that in like that. Keep it nice and compact and readable. Okay. No, we want that to be false. The one that activates, actually we want this on AI receive tick. Just because then it will continue to search for it. Versus just doing it once. Okay. We'll go back to our tree here, range line of sight, and we need target players, target player, line of sight is the line of sight. Perfect. And if line of sight is not set, we move to. If line of sight is set, we will fire weapon. We'll do as a fence, I guess. We want a decorator, blackboard. Line of sight is set. I think this is how AI is supposed to work. But that being said, we've failed horribly earlier to get anything with the Blackboard system to work. So, or the behavior trees to work. So who knows? If Has weapon is not set, we just want a move to. So right now, it should move to the target player. If everything's working correctly. Yep. And if we go in here, and save that separately. We go in here and we set has weapon to true and ranged weapon true. Then it should just rotate to face us. No, 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 no. Why are you following us? Oh, I set instant synced. Whereas I want to go into the behavior tree, I believe. And I can't set those individually? Huh, so I can't set things to test them. Okay. So, how are we going to test this? So we're going to go to our character enemy. Want to get AI controller. Or hell, do we? Hello, Gizmo! And that is Game Boy, isn't it? Or is that someone else out there with different kanji name? Oh, man. Starting to get tired. Brain hurting. And slowly shutting down. Okay, so that. Do I do it on the AI controller? Okay, we want to, on our controller, no, we don't want to on our controller. We want to on our enemy because that's going to make the most sense. We want to do a custom event. Oh, it's coal. Okay. Right. Custom event. And I want to update weapon. And we will put some inputs into here. So we'll put in has weapon, and we will put in range, and then we will get blackboard self. I think that should work. And then we want to set key, something about key on the blackboard. Blackboard component is different from AI blackboard. Oh. See, I know it was Game Boy. I said that earlier. You know what? The whole AI stuff, we're just gonna say screw it for now. Just screw it right in its stupid face. We've got time dilation, easier setup for stuff. We've got custom spawning, and we've got player movement. Yeah. Don't need anything else right now. Yeah, that's gonna be it. Sorry for ridiculous scream. I was hoping stream. I was hoping that more people were gonna show up from the folks that watch the Unreal Engine videos, so that they could be like, "Hey, I've got this other project going on. How would you do this?" And then like we could bounce ideas on and off each other. But instead, it was just me toying around with crap. So yeah, hopefully next time we can schedule something out a little bit better so we can have kind of like a community game build question and answer thing. But otherwise, for now, this is me whizzing around a wall and about to go to bed. Yeah.